Yo, yo, what's going on, beautiful people all around the world? You know what time it is. It's your favorite young king in the place to be, Donald M. Schuler Jr. here with the Royalty Connection podcast. I'm not by myself, as y'all already know. I come with a select few viewers, people who got some sense. There's not too many left of us here on planet Earth. I'm gonna have to go fishing somewhere else with some new brothers and some new sisters. But I'm so excited to just talk about this specific topic with a brother of mine who we played ball together at the illustrious Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, and just really got to understand Division I ball from a different perspective. And today's topic is pretty simple. It's called an athlete's perspective, and there's a lot going on that my brother here can speak to. So without further ado, I want to introduce my brother from another, Mr. Jerome June. Rome, tell him what's up, man. Introduce yourself to the kings and queens out there, bro.
Sure, man. Donald, first of all, thanks for having me, brother, man. I really respect and appreciate you for having me on the podcast. But yeah, my name is Jerome June Jr. Like Donald said, man, played Division I football at Morgan State University on their defensive line, man, aka Rome from the Charger to the Game Sports and Sports Betting podcast. For the people that might be like, hey, isn't that guy from that? I don't know, you know what I mean? But that's what it is, man. Like I said, it's a blessing to be here, brother. And like I said, love what you're doing for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. So, I mean, let's just dive right in, bro. What was it like playing D1 ball, and what did it take for you to, to get to Morgan and then to the university where you finished, bro? What was the journey like?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I would say, man, I mean, like everybody's journey, it's different, right? So I grew up grew up in Maryland, not specifically in the Baltimore area, but the PG County, Charles County area, played high school ball. I always kind of grew up as an aggressive kid, man, and always wanted to play ball and had aspirations of playing Division I football. I noticed my sophomore year, I was at a school called Thomas Stone High School, which is in Waldorf, Maryland, and was not put in the best positions to succeed. And then from there, my father, bless his heart, man, did his research about some, high schools in the local area. And we kind of decided on a high school called Gwen Park High School, man. Love it. It's in Brandywine, Maryland, near the PG County area of Maryland, which is one of the most illustrious Black communities in the whole United States, man, which I'm proud of. So I attended high school out there, and my 11th and 12th grade years, man, really kind of balled out. I think I actually set the record for sacks in a single season in my senior year, and, was blessed to get a scholarship to, attend Morgan State University, man. So, while there, I noticed it was I would probably say high school did prepare me for college, but at the same time, there's a lot that kind of goes into it, man. There's a lot of different dynamics. You got the political aspect, you got the player, the coach aspect, and then this is my job aspect of it, to stay on scholarship, man. And I don't know how in detail you want me to go about some of the recruiting stories and stuff that, but I'll definitely keep it PG for the most part. But like I said, I enjoyed my time while I was there, man. Like I said, I was putting a lot of hard work and effort to kind of getting to that level.
For sure. I think I know we definitely had different journeys to get to Morgan. For me, growing up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is the exact opposite from PG County. and just like, in my graduating class of, I want to say about 1,000 students graduating class, there had to be maybe 50 people who looked like me. And on the football team, combined with JV and varsity, there's probably 100 players, and maybe 10 look like me. So the coach didn't look like me. None of the coaches look like me, and it's just a few players. So you get into that perspective of not having that type of a coach is almost like a father figure in a way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Somebody that can truly just show you the principles on the field and off the field, in the classroom and outside the classroom. And me and my coach didn't get along probably at all, because I made the decision in my 10th grade year that I wanted to do more than just play football. Coming from a family that is education based and entertainment based. My father played football at Penn State University, but also got about 3 or 4 different degrees and was able to transition into a successful, pharmaceutical regional director and all this type of stuff. And on my mom's side, she grew up in the church in South Philly and sang with Boys to Men and grew up in the same era as Will Smith and all those types of things. So being able to combine those things with my passion and skill set in the industry didn't really jive well with my coach. I told him, I wanted to be able to host different events after school, so I wouldn't be able to make all the voluntary workouts. And to all you athletes out there, voluntary doesn't mean voluntary. Voluntary means it's involuntary.
Yeah, and we can definitely talk about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my coach was like, if you walk out this door and go to that rehearsal, I'm not going to play you. You have an opportunity to be, a starting, I think he wanted me at guard, right guard or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be here, but I just had to do this because I'm also committed to this. And he gave me that ultimatum. It's either going to be, hosting and doing the other extracurriculars or being dedicated to ball. And I knew even at that time, before LeBron James, I was more than an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
So, I decided to, to take that step, and it was hard, bro. Like I was recruited heavy by a lot of Division II and Division III schools. But I was just like, man, I know I have a D1 frame. I know I can be able to compete at the highest level. And I can't let this guy stop me. So I ended up declining, all the offers that I received, and took 1 year at community college to really just train and get my mind right, get my body to a certain position, and was ended up recruited by Hofstra University.
Hofstra, yeah.
Villanova, where my dad went, and also Morgan State. And I think it was like Lincoln or Cheney or somewhere around there. So I ended up going to Morgan because I had a lot of family that went to Morgan, and ended up being a preferred walk-on, played 2.5 years. And I think that's when you transitioned as well, somewhere around that time.
Right.
And decided to stop because I wanted to pursue my master's, and I wasn't really sure like how to really play ball and be a graduate student at the same time.
Right.
And, sometimes I kind of regret that because I wish that I had a coach in high school who kind of broke down these things. My father, he played ball, but he didn't really understand the intricacies of the political realm, when it comes to D1 ball. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up just playing 2.5 years, and I got the varsity letterman jacket. I earned my way, and end up getting a little bit of money. But yeah, man, those were times I'll never forget, bro. The times we got to just joke around, clown around, get beat up by the upperclassmen. Crazy, man. Them boys.
I will say this, man. I mean, Morgan State's, and just for the people that don't know, man, I mean, when I came in, I was a true freshman. I think, Don, you were a sophomore or junior at that point?
I was a sophomore, but then it was like a freshman on the field. All that politics.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, just coming
in. We was both freshmen for real.
Yeah, pretty much, man. So, like I said, that being my first taste of college ball. I would say I wasn't really intimidated by these guys, but it was just more from the maturity level, man.
Yeah.
Some of these guys were cool, and that's where it comes into play. You got to make sure you have good leadership, man.
Yeah.
Always got to make sure you have good leadership and a person that sets the tone. Man, and I don't know if we're pointing out names and stuff like that, but there was a defensive line with our head D line, I guess D line men was probably pretty much a good man. He kind of led the way for us. He was one of my mentors while I was there, and kind of looked up to, and everything like that. Because, like I said, I mean, it's easy to get lost as a young man when
For
you're
sure.
on these.
And you can shout them out too. It's all good.
Oh yeah, well actually, it's was it Justin Young or JY? You
I
know
knew
JY,
gonna say
man.
JY.
So I mean, well, I mean, he's the leader. You know what I mean? He was the leader. So it's like,
yeah,
as the leader goes, we go. So
for
he was a
sure.
guy that our defensive line coach will, kind of wanted me to kind of model and then follow and stuff like that. He was a calm, cool, collected voice who, really had a good head on his shoulders. And I'm not saying that was the only gentleman in the locker room, but that was somebody that I kind of gravitated to.
Yeah.
Somebody from my background, like I said, me being from Maryland, I'm from, the East Coast. You know what I mean? I'm more on that vibe. I'm not from Florida. I'm not from Texas. I'm not from Georgia. That kind of means a lot when you have somebody with that same tier and that same mold as you, and they understand, and they're, kind of been through some of the same situations. It says a lot, man.
Relatability, for sure.
Yeah, man, for sure. So I would probably say that. And then also, man, a lot of people might not have known this, but me, when I kind of started at Morgan State, I honestly didn't want to go there. And this is kind of the backstory behind it, man. So my high school career, my junior and senior years were monstrous, man. I mean, before I transferred to the new school, which is Gwynn Park, I was recognized as a big kid that didn't quite live up to its potential because of I didn't obviously have the right. I'm not going to blame it on anybody. It could have been on me, but I just feel like I didn't have the right guidance around me.
Nah, bro, that's real talk, man.
Yeah,
that's
so I mean, talk. I felt like I wasn't in the position to succeed. Yeah. But my junior and senior years at Gwynn Park High School, man, I really stood out. I was blessed enough to be on Rivals, man. I was a 2-star athlete. I actually got the opportunity to go to camps and roommate with, like the guys like obviously Aaron Donald and Vernon William Golston and the Buccaneers, and just meeting those guys within that age group. Kyle Fuller, I think he was the cornerback for the Washington football team now, or the Commanders. Commanders. Sorry.
Who are you?
Yeah, man, they changed the
name
really? So much, man. So
yeah,
that, and playing around guys like that, I felt like I should have been on that level. You know what I mean? Playing in like the state, local, all-star games and stuff like that, and then having to go D1 AA and understanding why these guys went D1. Why did Aaron Donald go to Pitt? Why did William Golston go to Michigan State? Why did William Jackson or whatever the gentleman's name is, Kyle Fuller, I'm sorry. Why did he go to the college that he went to? So I was like, wow, all these guys are going to these big schools. I'm going D1 AA. So I actually thought I was better than what I was. But when I started to understand from a scouting perspective, your genetic makeup, like your size.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like that kind of hit home a little bit different, bro. Because and Don, you kind of speak on obviously at that time, man. I'm still around the same size now. I'm probably a little. I don't know. I might be around that size now, but I kind of played around my weight. But I'm about 6'2.5". Especially actually coming out of high school, I was probably about 6'2.5", 215. So I was on the smaller side. So I was like, they were like, well, you're small, you're fast, but you're not
just
fast.
like that. Just like, well,
you know what I mean?
You're small, so
right, bro. I'm just like,
no offense, but that's how they talk, bro.
That's how they talk. These college scouts, like, yo, you're small, but you're quick. But we don't think you can translate to the next level when these tackles are very athletic. And they got long arms, just as fast as you. So it's stuff like that I felt that I should have went D1, but like I said, settled for D1 AA. But it kind of took from a mental standpoint, because it's like, man, I want to play, but I'm like, man, I should be at Michigan State, dog. I should be at Pitt. You know what I mean? So for athletes out there, I know I get this a lot from some of the guys that I kind of mentor and stuff like that. You might be thinking that. I would say just go through the grind, man. Go through the grind. Try not to worry about your place at the point, right now, especially right now, man. I mean, guys are getting drafted, from D2 and D3 schools.
Right.
Community
Community college.
Right, community
JUCO.
Right,
He'll
bro.
go to JUCO.
Man, I'm telling you, USFL, Arena, it don't even matter
Right.
no more, man. If you can ball, they will find you, okay?
Not the USFL. I feel you, though. Shout out to them boys out there.
Yeah, man.
Bro, that's real life, man. I mean, you know, your story and your journey made you into who you are today. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, yo, bro, you 6'4". I'm like about 270, 280. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, I can be off that jump right now. I'm like, man, yo, if I had this type of grown man body like I did
yes,
back,
sir.
you know, because
it'll be over.
Oh my God. Like,
right.
I mean, I'll be laying in the bed sometimes talking to my wife. I'm like, baby, like, boy, like maybe I should, you know, now I know better. So maybe I could just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dog. Like the things that you wish you knew back then that you know now. But bro, playing D1, everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can't do that, bro. And it's a beautiful thing, especially in, you know, I would say in networking and branding. You know, everybody wants to get to that level, but it's not for everybody. You got to get it from the mud.
Right.
You know, 4:45 practices, which is really 4:30 a.m. practices. You know, your schedule really, you know, going from that time.
Oh man, we gotta talk about that too. The scheduling.
You know, it's crazy. These kids nowadays, man, they just see the NIL, and that's gonna be the next point we talk about. Name, image, and likeness. Man, if I had a name, image, and likeness, I wouldn't have had to work in the dorm and trying to steal bologna sandwiches or something crazy like that, bro. So it's like, it's absolutely incredible what's opening up now, bro. Like, what do you think? You think NIL is a good thing or a bad thing?
I will say this, man, and being a D1 athlete, and like you said, especially at Morgan State University, and I went to the other school I transferred to was a school called Campbellsville, which is in Kentucky, which is obviously a lot of a culture shock. But I mean, I honestly love the NIL. I don't even think it's enough, because one of the things that I'm kind of hinting at is that it doesn't touch everybody. It doesn't touch everybody on that team. It talks about name. It's name, image, and likeness. What about the offensive guards? What about the left tackle that he's going to go #1 overall? Is he going to get that deal? You know what I mean? Or the guy who's toting and running for 20 touchdowns in the season, he's a Heisman hopeful, or you're what's the guy who had a huge sweet tea? Matt Corral. You know, who's at Ole Miss, he has some type of sweet tea. He's quarterback, but he ended up going to like 4th or 5th round. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's stuff like that. Guys that went ahead of him, you know, didn't probably get anything. So what about the other guys on the team? I look at it like this as well. Football is the #1 sport among mostly universities. It's the #1 revenue generator. You look at Alabama football, obviously look all across the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, you name it, you know, football is #1. Basketball is most likely #2, and then it's like, you know, I don't even keep up with the rest, but I mean, look at all this money. Like, there's no reason why, bro, if I go on StubHub and I try to go to a Commanders game and I can get better seats and cheaper seats to see the Commanders, and I can sit, you know, almost front row, but I got to pay $1,000 to see Alabama. Like, where is that money going? You know what I mean? That's what I think of. And when other athletes, I get it. Like when people talk, hey, what about tennis, and what about this, and what about that? I get it.
What about tennis, bro?
You know what I mean? In baseball, I get it. Yeah, you're a Division I athlete too. Yeah, but at the same time, we play in pretty much. I mean, it's packed. You know what I mean? It's all around. Like everybody comes to, you know, the football games, basketball games, all of that. But to answer your original question, man, I love that, and I don't even think it's enough, because it's not covering everybody who's waking up at 5 a.m. and going to bed at, I mean, if you actually study,
right,
and
that
actually
yo,
doing
that
your
part
own
right
work,
there,
and you're
that
not
part.
having a study buddy do your work for you, then you probably going to bed
Listen,
at like 10,
what?
30, 11. You know what I mean? Or even later,
Right. If you're doing your own work, that
Yeah.
part. Man, I think I agree with you, bro. I mean, I heard there are some teams, I'm not going to throw any names out because I don't want no misinformation. I don't believe in that. But that was like have offensive linemen on payroll starting at like $55,000 a year. I was like, yo, like, I mean, that's like people coming out of college can't even get a job at $55,000 a year.
Yeah.
And you in college working for a degree and getting paid at the same time. I think everybody needs to get the love. But when I see like these quarterbacks now, man, in high school coming out talking about such and such signed a $8.5 million NIL deal with Texas and all this, I'm like, yo, like that
Archie Manning,
crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa. And Deion Sanders had a good point, which shout out to Deion and Jackson State.
Oh yeah. Love it, man. HBCU, stand up, baby. Let's go.
What's up, man? He said, you can't play these kids. You can't pay these kids as they're a pro because they're going to come to your school and they're going to be making more than a coach, more than an assistant coach, more than a president of the university. And there's no hunger. There's no drive. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so interesting. It's like you paying them like a pro. So they're going to act like a pro, act like they don't have to do certain things, and the hunger isn't going to be there. And I thought that was really interesting and a really dope perspective because it's like, you got that attitude, and now we live in a social media where everybody wants to flex on the gram. Everybody wants to just show everything that they're doing and be flashy. And, that stuff will go to your head if you don't have a right support system. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then another layer is you have to have agency representation now. Like you can field your own deals, but what you going to do when it comes to tax time? What you going to do when it comes to all this type of stuff? Free money isn't always good money. So you have to make sure you have the right team around you. So you have these athletes coming into college with millions of dollars and agency representation and brand deals and endorsements. And, that just adds on top of your playbook and, your schoolwork, if you're actually doing your schoolwork. Because as most D1 players, y'all don't got to lie. Me and Jerome we graduated. So we know the truth. You know what I'm saying? We're not like, you don't gotta.
You said it.
Listen, man, you don't gotta lie to us.
Right.
I'm not going to name any names, but a coach that me and Jerome both know said, school?
Come on, big guy. Let's go.
School? Son, we didn't bring you here for school, son. You here to play ball.
Let's go.
Let somebody else do your work, son. What is you thinking, son?
Right.
Oh my God. So I'm not gonna name no names.
Yeah.
Y'all know who you are, all you coaches out there.
Yeah, man.
Listen, what? All you gotta be now and kick this. I know you know this. All you gotta be now is eligible for 2 seasons. Because most star athletes, they're not staying 3 or 4 seasons. They're going for 2 strong seasons, and then they declaring.
Right.
So it's like, it don't even matter at that point, especially if you're going to a school like Alabama, who's first team, second team, third team, and the janitor go into the league.
Right.
Hey, yo, let me tell you something. The ball boy and the trainer, they getting drafted too at Alabama. I'm like, yo, you didn't even play, bro. You didn't even play. But you getting drafted in the 4th round.
Right,
come
bro.
on, dog.
They're all talented, bro.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Crazy. So it's just really understanding now that you can't just be a ball player. You're a brand, you know, like you have to be able to understand who you are and whose you are, and keeping the right people around you.
Sure.
It's nuts, man. And I'm so excited for what, Coach Prime is doing down there at Jackson State, just really turning sports on its head, man. Beefing with Alabama and all that type of stuff. Like, Jackson State, Division I AA, we're still Division I, but
once you start, go ahead.
Some big dogs down there, man.
Oh yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
Like it's just the fact that you got that strength and that vigor to know that you're not going to back down from anybody. I'm going to get the number one recruit in America, not off of millions of dollars like they said they did, but just off the strength of being surrounded by people who look like you.
Right, and care about you, right? I mean, I will say this. Deion kind of set the landscape, and he's setting the landscape, and he's trendsetted the HBCU landscape. Because like you said, you brought up Deion Sanders, but when you look at these coaches, you look at Eddie George was a Pro Bowl running back for the Tennessee Titans, played with Steve McNair and played on that legendary Titans team when they lost to Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf, Ram.
Yeah.
He's the head coach at Tennessee State. Hugh Jackson, we actually had him on our sports podcast, man. He's the head coach at Grambling. You know what I mean? And the people that don't know, he was the former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He was the head coach of the Raiders for a little bit, and he kind of went through it with a little scandal with I think he came out and said something about the Browns causing, paying him to lose games with Brian Flores and stuff like that.
Yeah, so which I believe.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much in so many words. I mean, it is what it is. But guys like that, and there's a ton of others, and I'm sorry for the guys that I missed their names, that are coaching at these HBCUs and trying to make our athletes come back home. And that's what it's about. You know, when I talked to Hugh Jackson on our podcast, he was talking about we want our athletes back home. You know what I mean? At home, meaning HBCUs. These universities, the Alabamas, the Michigan States, the Clemsons, all of these schools are profiting big dollars off of our people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you are ours. Like, I mean, I don't want to go into super great detail, but this is honestly just how I feel about it. Like, I mean, I was talking to a guy and an athlete, he's a black athlete. He actually still playing, man. And I was like, yo, why do you ball so hard? Like, he's like, man, I ball so hard for, my great grandfathers that were hung from trees. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, I'm like, yo, you didn't even know, obviously, his great grandfather, but somebody within his mom or dad instilled it into him that, hey, you're going to work hard. You know what I mean? You're going to support our people and you're going to do the right thing at all times. But, I know that's a little long-winded, man. But like you said, I mean, what Deion's doing for the HBCU landscape is definitely trend-setting, and it's rubbing these guys the wrong way, man. Look what Nick Saban came out and said about.
Right.
He put him on blast. He was like, "Oh, I don't pay my guys like Deion and like Jimbo, and and stuff like that." And Deion and Jimbo went back at him, man. And Jimbo was kind of just like, "Yo, this is despicable." You know what I mean? He was mad as hell. You know what I mean? If I want you guys to look at Jimbo Fisher, the head coach at Texas A&M press conference, that is a man that is furious. Like, Deion's cool, chill, laid back. Jimbo came at him with the old Southern swag, and he was not playing. You know what I mean? He was just made like despicable, like every other word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's interesting, bro. I think again, a lot of people are striving to go to the D1 level because, again, it's the recognition. Even to this day, I tell people I play D1 ball and, I wear my varsity jacket and whatnot. And it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You did this and that. And it's like, it's a great tool to just talk about and to just, I try not to use the word like influence or influencer. I think that's really weird that society has adopted that. I would like to be more of somebody who impacts instead of influences. Anybody can be influenced to do anything, but everybody can't impact somebody to do something that is life-changing. So being able to like understand that, once you reach a certain level, whether that's, with playing ball or in your career and whatnot, it's important to be somebody who uses their platform wisely, which brings me to my other question, bro. Deshaun Watson. Yeah, exactly.
We going there, brother.
I just want to know. I mean, look, I don't believe in tearing anybody down, but I do believe in holding people accountable.
I hear you. Okay.
Like 24 women. 24 and all of them lying, Deshaun? All of them lying?
Yeah, man. So I mean, here's my perspective on that situation, man. For Deshaun, I can imagine, man, it's very embarrassing for him. You know what I mean? Just like any man, when you get called out on something like that, it's very embarrassing. And he's at the forefront of it. Now I'm hearing that, he's actually kind of paid these women off, some of them, which a lot of people were saying that he should have done before. So now it kind of makes him look like, hey, like, why are you paying these people off now? Like there must be, where there's smoke, there's fire type thing. And now, we never know what's going to happen. But in his situation, man, I'll say this. The organization, too, has to be held accountable, the Houston Texans, because if you read the facts in all the court proceedings and stuff like that, and it's all factual information, they knew they were paying. They pretty much paid, and they knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? They had, I don't know if they had these women sign these non-disclosure agreements or not, which it sounds like they didn't. But they were kind of funding this. You know what I mean? They probably just paid for his massages like most, NFL players. Organizations do pay for players' massages. Let's just get that straight up front.
I mean, and it should be a part of, your athletic training package. Like you're getting beat up like that. Like, listen, you need your body to be tended to. LeBron James spends what, $1 million on his body, with,
for sure.
With his routines and stuff. So
for sure, man. I'll say this. I mean, we had a coach on the show. He was like, "Yo, you got to get the right massages." Sean was not getting the right massages. You know what I mean? You can't get the happy ending massages, man. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta chill.
Oh, my bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got to get the right massages. You know what I mean? Not the ones with the janky signs in the hood. You know what I mean? Come on now. We all know.
Wait, not the happy ending massages.
Bro, all I'm saying is
you gotta get the right massage.
All I'm saying is, brother, if you probably saw all of his masseuse lined up, they're like, yo, is this like a fitness magazine cover? This like the prettiest woman in America? You know what I mean? Or something like that. Or you know what I mean? He didn't have no I don't want to be but let's just leave it there. Let's
park it right there.
Yeah, man.
All I know is that as an athlete, division, especially in college, I mean, NFL is one thing, but college, if you're on the football team, you can pull as many girls that's on the football team, as many players on the football team. Let's just say that. It's always readily and available, but you just have to make the right decisions to deal with the right ladies if you want to do that. And just know that, some women will look at you as a meal ticket,
Pretty much.
Just be one wrong move and they got you for life. You either do this or I'm screaming assault or all this type of stuff. So that's something that, the athletes got to look out for, especially with social media. I mean, that stuff can be you sending, pictures of yourself and, whatever's on the internet is forever. So you really got to be careful with that. But I think what really rubbed me the wrong way was that this brother, even though all the things that he's going through, he still got that 230 guaranteed contract, $230 million guaranteed. I'm like, so we allow this to happen and we kind of bypass character and integrity in order to go straight for what he can do for us. And compound interest on that, we have somebody who didn't assault anybody. We have somebody who has been fighting social justice, even though I don't agree with all the things that he's done. But Colin Kaepernick, man.
Yeah, man.
My man can't buy a job.
All, man. He just recently got picked up.
By who?
The Raiders.
You lying to
me. They really just happened recently, probably maybe a month ago. They just signed him.
No,
Colin Kaepernick.
Bro,
Vegas Raiders, bro.
Don't be hit with no Stephen A. Smith, Wojnarowski, breaking news here, bro. Nah, man, they didn't. He had to work out, bro. He had to work out.
They signed him,
bro. They did not sign that man, dog. They did not sign that man.
All right, man.
I'm gonna have to. Now I
could have sworn they signed him, bro. I could have sworn. Like I said, I know I've been out of pocket for the record, but I'm pretty sure they signed him.
I'm about to say, where you been? Now I gotta look this up right now, real time.
I don't know, man. You tell me.
To all y'all listening out there, you can tell this is my boy. Me and Jerome go back.
Yeah, man. Way
all
back.
Right, let's see.
Let's see, Colin Kaepernick.
Nah, I got nothing. They saying that they're going back and forth whether they should sign him.
Oh, okay.
But Deshaun Watson can go back and forth.
Okay. Yeah.
The happy ending massages. And he can get $230 million. But my man Colin Kaepernick can't get $5.50 in a practice squad jersey.
At all.
Hey, yo. What is happening?
Yeah, man. I'll say this. The NFL has clearly shown if you can play, we don't care what is going on.
Real talk.
We're gonna sign you because you look at the NFL's history. You look at he's out of the league now. Greg Hardy, the dude from the Carolina Panthers, he's a UFC fighter now.
That explains a lot.
He had like machine guns and he beat up some women. He was allowed back. But then he just wanted to fight. That they looked at a lot of these players, man. Richard Sherman, with his situation. I mean, obviously we love Richard Sherman and stuff like that for the stuff that he does. But they allowed him back. Was it Josh Gordon, the guy who, has a weed problem? Clearly has. Weed and beyond, just a drug problem. He's had multiple suspensions and has been allowed to come back and play. So they don't really care. The NFL does not care really about your, outside of sports activities, unless it's something huge to the point where it's like Henry Ruggs, the receiver for the Raiders, who, God bless the family that, I think he hit some woman or something like that in a car accident and killed somebody, and now he's in jail. You know what I mean? So if they don't punish you legally, the NFL really doesn't care.
That's true. That is very true, and I think that's why he's still out here doing his thing. Yeah, because the court proceedings are happening, and he's able to pay off these women, and I mean, I know the NFL is going to give him some type of, reprimanding, if you will. But man, I looked at that. I'm like, $230 million, and you are going through 24 court cases that these women said you assaulted them, and they gave you $230 million guaranteed. I know you nice, but wow.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta ask you this. You might not have known this. The Patriots owner, I think it's Bob or Robert.
Oh, I know. Oh, he liked the happy ending joints.
But he liked them. But now this is where I get. This is my view on it.
Yeah.
He's an owner. He's the head sheriff.
Yeah.
Why was that swept under the rug so quick, fast, and in a hurry?
Yep.
Like, you heard that on the news for one day.
Yep.
And nobody else talks about it ever again.
Bro.
Nobody. You can't. People are like, yo, what? He really did that? Like, yeah, he did. But I mean, Deshaun Watson gets aired out. You know what I mean? My boy gets aired out all on TV. It's the number one topic on, sports and beyond.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like, okay, so why is this, brother being talked about in such a bad light? But when this rich owner, who's clearly not a brother, has a lot of money, right. It was swept under the rug so quick, fast, and in a hurry. People don't even know that actually happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just my kind of view on it. But I mean, it's all bad. It's all bad. But
it's all very bad. These guys got to yo.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got enough money,
ending, man. Y'all got to chill.
Yeah, man.
Got to chill, man. Find yourself one good woman out here to give you your happy endings that you need. I'm talking about, man. Look, I think with Robert Kraft, I mean, money, bro. The money can buy you anything in this world, which is sad.
Yeah, man.
Which is so sad, man. Like, you do things and you ruin somebody's life, but you know that person who you've engaged in illegal activity with, you're going to be able to buy them off because they don't have what you have.
Right.
And it's just sad, but those people got to live with that for the rest of their lives, and again, prayers to people who have been, sexually assaulted, to the women out there. There are some women who do lie about that, but I believe that a mass majority of women have been victims of that, victims of men who think they can just do anything and not have to go through the necessary, you going to jail type of thing. Just can call a spade a spade. Yeah. So we don't know how much money Deshaun Watson is paying off to 24 women. I mean, clearly the brother got 230 million guaranteed, so he got the bread, but that's just like, that's just crazy to me. And, I just wish Colin Kapernick would get an opportunity, because this man didn't assault anybody. He protested for social justice. And what people tend to forget all the time, he consulted with a Green Beret, which is in the military. You don't want to see a Green Beret because them boys, they're very much about that life. Yeah. I forget the guy's name, but he was one of the players at the time. And he was just say, hey, if you take a knee, I think that'll be respectful. And then when you think about it, as a grown up playing football, bro, we take a knee when we're hurt, when we see our brother who's, going through something, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. So, of course, people get mad at, the national anthem in that situation. Do you take a knee, for the national anthem? My thing is, I did one of my first podcasts. I stand for the flag, but I kneel when I'm hurt. So I understand, what that flag stands for. Having a degree in history and then a master's of arts in teaching, understanding the implications of our flag, and how, if you read the full national anthem, it's slighted in one of the most racist undertones that you could ever read it. But people only sing the first stanza. They don't sing the full song, because they know if you sing the full song, then it is the epitome of racism.
Yes.
So if more people understood that, especially that they didn't start really airing the national anthem on television maybe like 10 or 15 years ago. Like, it wasn't something that was done all the time. Like, it was during, the non-broadcast. But the fact that they're doing that now, to expand the patriotism in America, I'm all for that and everything. But if somebody's hurting, you should ask them why they're taking a knee and how you can assist them, instead of blackballing that man and telling him he's not a good player, when you got people like what's his name? Last name is McCown, or Matt McCown, or Glenn McCown, or something like that. He was playing for the Eagles. I forget his name, but
what
it
do you
was
say?
No, I mean, I'm just thinking like this guy, he was actually a high school quarterback coach. And then they said, hey, I know you're 40 years old, but we need you to come in and be a reserve. And then
Oh,
Carson Wentz
Josh
got
McCown.
Josh
Yup.
McCown.
Yeah. Yup.
I'm like, what? This guy's better than Colin Kaepernick?
Right.
And it's just like, you rather pull people off the street than sign that man. And I know when it comes to business, you're trying to protect your brand because, some of your fan base may be mad that he took a knee, this, that, and the third. I understand that you want to protect your pockets, but you'll protect your pockets and never win a championship or never go deep in the playoffs. If your second string quarterback isn't, close to being as good as your first string quarterback, and that you have to have at least three quarterbacks on depth chart because you don't know what could happen.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I hope this brother gets a chance. I feel like he deserves it more than most people. And we'll see, man. I hope justice is served. In the case of Deshaun Watson, good or bad in his case. I just want justice to be served and people to learn from their mistakes, man. That money can't buy everything.
It can, man.
And you reap what you sow.
Yeah, I would say this quickly on the Colin Kaepernick because I didn't really chime in on that too much, man. But I mean, what he's kind of done is I'm not saying he's Muhammad Ali, man, for the people but it's Muhammad Ali like.
Yeah.
This man risked his young, youthful career for something, that kind of got blown out of proportion and it got put in the media's hands, man.
Yeah.
And they took it and they ran with it and they turned it into something that it wasn't. They turned it into, okay, Colin Kaepernick is making a humiliation of the NFL and all of this stuff. And he was just clearly trying to bring light to, obviously his cause. And, like I said, people blew it out of proportion. I'm pretty sure he's received death threats throughout the years.
Yeah.
And this man has been through a lot, man. So, when I look at people like that kind of risk their young, youthful careers for, brothers like us, you know what I mean, to stand up for us, because there's a lot of athletes that honestly don't care. They just want that money, man. They're just about that money. Like, I'm pretty sure he consulted with other athletes and said, hey, bro, I'm about to take this knee. Like, you want to rock with me? And man, I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you there's some guys like, look, some brothers, big, strong brothers you probably look up to. And it's like, man, I wish I could, man, but my agent, who's probably white, said, hey, I don't think that's a good look, man. It might be blown out of proportion. And he took that knee, I think, by himself. I think it was maybe one other guy. I think it was Eric Reed or something like that. They took it with him. And then they had the whole league doing it with him. But he was kind of at the forefront of it and kind of the spokesman for it. And, now he, like you said, he can't even get a job. And then they got even people believing that he couldn't even play. Some people believe that he can't even play. You know what I mean? I know it's been a long time. Yeah, I'm like,
Josh McCown.
You're right, Josh McCown, out of high school, pulled him straight out of high school practice. Like, yo, we need you to come start on Sunday, dog. Like, I remember when he was like,
come on, man.
Like how you gonna learn a playbook? You know what I mean?
Man.
But I mean, they got guys thinking that he can't even play. Like, his last performance wasn't the greatest. I think he threw like 3 picks. But there's a guy in the NFL, and like I said, I kind of pick on these guys, because I watch NFL. NFL's near and dear to me. Why does Nathan Peterman, look up this name, Nathan Peterman? I think he holds the NFL record for like the worst game in NFL history. And he was
that's a record you don't want,
right,
dog.
bro. Why does he still have a job in the NFL? Nathan Peterman. I'm gonna just say that, but Colin Kaepernick doesn't.
Yeah, man. I guess we'll never know, but I hope we do know that justice will be served. I guess that's all I really got on that, man. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Whatever team he does go on, I'm definitely copping up a jersey.
Oh, for sure, man.
Definitely copping up a jersey, man. It's racism has no color. Suckers come in every color. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, red, brown, whatever. So I just feel as though that, the people who really decide to just kick him when he was down and didn't
Mm,
really have the opportunity to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. That's what's going on in our society today, you know, entertainment wise, education wise, politically. Everybody's just talking, man, and nobody's taking that time to really put forth policy and enact certain things that can really create life change.
mm,
Um, because it's like the powers that be, man, whoever they think they are doing everything they can to stop forward progression, man. I mean, for me, I would consider myself a conservative, but at
mm,
the same time, somebody who is for character and integrity and moving forward with, different values and principles and morals. But we live in a society now that wants to throw their morals away. And
yes.
it's really, it's mind blowing, man. I understand that not everybody is of the same faith as me and, believes in the things that I believe in. But I think we should all have a common ground of treating others as we should, want to be treated. And
Yes.
I guess the last point is the Supreme Court case with I believe his name is, let me pull it up here. Joseph Kennedy, a former high school football coach in Bremerton, Washington, had a constitutional right to pray on the field after his team's games. And the justices, as in the Supreme Court justice, they ruled that he does have that right. But he was fired in 2015 because uh, some of the students didn't like it, the parents didn't like it. Um, they didn't like that he was coming together and praying um, and giving a motivational message to his players, and that's something that I know I grew up in, being a man of faith, and you know say the Lord's prayer and keep it pushing. But some people don't like that. And I mean, you obviously you don't have to say the Lord's prayer or anything like that, but it's just that whole thing of like being exposed to different things and doing things as a team. But some people use that to get at him for his faith. And that is his, that's the First Amendment. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have the right to assemble, you have the right to free speech and believe what you want to believe and your faith. And you know, it's pretty ridiculous. What do you think about that?
I mean, like I said, I think it's crazy. I mean, I think me and you kind of talked a little bit before, man. I mean, we like all the way from youth all the way up into high school, college, and beyond. Guys perv each other each and every before each and every game,
Yeah.
before each and every practice, and after. So why is this guy, fired for something as simple as trying to bless his team, to perfection? So I just don't understand that. I think it's crazy. And I just don't see how that can be done. I mean, maybe if somebody who's of a different faith, I can probably see that made it a bigger issue and saying, hey, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in this being pushed down my throats. Now
Yeah.
that's how I can get how they kind of made it a big deal and push that. But there's a lot, worse that's happening. That's just kind of my opinion on it. I don't see, like I said, that's one just crazy. You said that was in 2015.
Yeah. And now it just got ruled on uh recently, maybe like within the last few weeks, I want to say.
Wow, what was the ruling? What was the final?
So they ruled on his behalf that that is his constitutional right, that he can
Right,
do that.
right, and
So
then
yeah,
but now this is time that he can't get back. This is time. This is a
exactly.
job that he can't get back. This is young men that he probably nurtured, and they looked up to him that he can't get back. They're off. I'm not saying I don't know who their coach was that took over after, but what if he was a great coach, the gentleman that got fired, and a great man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're a football coach, and like I'll say this: when you're a young man, when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, when you're a youth football coach, or even high school, even college and pro, I mean, you look up to your head coach as almost like a father figure, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Your position coach, your head coach, because you're a leader of men. You look at how they do things. You're with them almost each and every day,
Yeah.
sometimes more than your father.
Yeah.
Even if you had a father, some people don't. Some of these men don't even have a father. This is the only image of a man is
Yeah.
their football coach, and you're taking it away from them because of X amount of reasons. You know what I mean? And like I said, this new football coach that took over after 2015, I don't know who the gentleman was, but I mean, I'm hoping that he was a great person, but you know, I just look at it from that standpoint as well, because a gentleman that prays for his team and his players, and that's in my I envision is I'm not saying he's perfect because nobody's perfect,
For sure.
but he has a great head on his shoulders. He understands, what is important and what his people and his players need. So
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know if that man was out there, preaching, praying, laying hands, speaking in tongues. I don't know what the brother was doing, but I mean, that doesn't really happen. We just go, we say a Lord's Prayer, we keep it moving. And you show that sportsmanship and that teamwork and that camaraderie, man, under God. And I think that was so messed up, man. But if I was him, boy, that school would be renamed after me.
Right, you went to the fullest extent.
That school would be renamed after me. I'd have the field renamed after me. I'd have my face on the decal on the helmet. Hey, let me tell you, boy. What? Yeah, y'all gonna have to run me my money for that.
Yeah, man, you gotta let them know,
7+ years.
Yeah, because they clearly tried to make an example out of him. So it's like, you want to make an example out of me? I mean, hey, I'm gonna have to make an example out of you for the people that you try to do that ever again to. Like, come on now,
man. Yeah, I'm glad that justice was served in that instance, man. And I know there's so many more people who are fighting similar things for freedom of speech. Yeah. Everybody likes to, jump down the rest of the amendments. But before you have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, or the 13th Amendment talking about, abolishing slavery and all those type of things, you got the First Amendment. You're talking about freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and to be a part of whatever religion you want. A lot of people don't like the fact that America was founded on Judeo-Christian values. People don't like that. Yeah. But the facts are the facts. And
can't change that.
Everybody's not going to agree with it, but if you're in America, you're going to have to ride a certain way or you're going to have to clear it. That's just what it is. You're going to have to clear it, man. That's how I think, but everybody doesn't have those views, but I do my best to govern myself accordingly, man. And I know you do too, bro. Yeah, this was a great conversation, man. You got
for sure
any closing remarks or any things you wanted to kind of speak to any athletes out there, speak to anybody who could use some encouragement, from the athletic perspective, but also just from the manhood perspective?
Yeah, man. So I would say, like I said, thanks for that, man. And like I said, I'm welcome. You're also welcome on my platform anytime as well, man. But I mean, for all the young athletes out there, man, I mean, I would definitely say, man, I mean, it is what you make it, man. I mean, go out there, keep grinding, man. Don't look at the big picture so much. Work on consistently every day, getting better, getting stronger, getting faster. And for a lot of young men, I mean, especially at the high school level, man, even middle school as well, don't try to focus so much on trying to impress people rather than impress yourself. Be in competition with yourself. You know what I mean? Your inner being. Work on yourself. If you work on yourself, everything else will come. Okay, the money will come. Your lady will come. I don't want to say the women will come. I don't want to say that, you know what I mean? But they will. That'll come. Your success, will come, and then, your inner peace will come. You know what I mean? So I just look at stuff like that, because, I kind of mentor, some young youth myself, man, and talking to a lot of these kids with the new social media age, man, and the stress that's put on them. at a very young age, everybody has Instagram, everybody has TikTok, everybody's doing this. Some kids have money, some don't. You know, I'm it's just heartbreaking, man. Just seeing what a lot of these kids are going through, and sharing, all across the globe. So I would probably say, as an athlete, man, you got to understand you're different. Okay, you can't smoke weed every day. All right, you cannot, you know, snort cocaine and do all these. Just you can't do drugs. Okay, you can't do that. You can't drink lean. You can't drink. You can't do those things and be successful. You might be successful now, but when you get to the next level, it's going to carry over. You're going to
Yeah.
show up to practice, and they're going to run the absolute HELL out of you. And then you're going to start throwing up like me and some of these guys, like me and Donald saw it.
Looking crazy.
Right. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, I mean, I would just say, continue to stay on the right track, man, right path. And like I said, keep your head, in the right place, and seek God, man. Seek God in any and all situations.
Y'all heard it from my brother, Jerome June Jr., aka Rome from the Charges of the Game podcast. Let me tell you something. This man is thorough. Known him for quite some time. We've seen each other grow over the past years, man. And it's football will create family for life. Like it's really is a brotherhood. And just keep in mind again, as Rome said, just do right, man. Just do right.
Yeah.
Just do the right thing. It may be hard initially, but you'll be thanking yourself when those checks clear, regardless if you get to the league or if you just graduate and get yourself a nice paying job, a family, people that love you. Just be 10 toes down for who you are called to be.
Yes, sir.
And get to know God. And I know there's many gods out there, but I'm talking about Yahweh. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, the risen King. That's the guy we talking about. Yes, everybody else is cool. I appreciate y'all, but there's only one way, and the way is Jesus. So with all that being said, Rome, I just want to pray with you, bro. As you know, this is what we do at the end of every Royalty Connection podcast. We always lift it up in prayer because without the Father, we wouldn't be here. So,
yes, sir.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, precious Holy Spirit, thank you so much for waking us up to see another day. Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy and your peace. We thank you for joy, peace, love, happiness, and agape love, that unconditional love, Father. I thank you so much for the topic, an athlete's perspective, and just two brothers coming together to really just talk about current events and talk about how to be a man. What is manhood? Having men come together, provide for their families, do the things that they love to do, and not be for profit, but be for people. So I just pray for all those listening and those watching that you would be 10 toes down in your calling, be 10 toes down in who you are, and not let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. You be able to stand on your own 2 feet, again, 10 toes down in who you are. And have faith in that, and have faith in God, and have faith that you will achieve your dreams and your destiny, no matter what. But you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. So I lift up my brother right now, Jerome, as he continues to put the work in post-college with his family, with his mentoring group, his career, his dreams and his aspirations. I pray that you use him in a mighty way to be able to facilitate change, to be the change that he needs to see and that he wants to see in his community, in his region, and the nation and the world at large, to be able to move with power, purpose, and authority everywhere he goes. I love him. I honor him as a brother. I'm looking forward to all the things you have for him as he continues to move with power. Thank you, Father, for the opportunity to gather. Thank you that iron sharpens iron. Thank you for the armor that you've given us, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, sword of spirit, belt of truth, and feet shod with the preparation of gospel of peace. Let us continue to walk heavy as men, heavy as the women who are listening as well, heavy as children of the Most High God, to take territory back from the evil one. He has no power, no authority over our lives. I prophesy and speak that and cover my brother and his family. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, the risen King. Amen.
Amen.
Brother.
Oh, man. Thank you, brother. Oh my God, I needed that, man.
My man.
Man. Man, but like I said, I already know. And just for the people that don't know, man, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to even be around each other for that long. I transferred, I think, after about a year and a half or so, man. But just, I mean, Donald, man, like I said, just your presence, man. You know, I already knew for sure that, like I said, you know, you are, you know, you're the one, man. You know, like I said, just changing lives one day at a time, one person at a time. And, you know, like I said, I really respect and enjoy your, you know, your podcast, man, what you do. And brother, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I said, I love you. I appreciate all that you're doing for our youth, man. And just pointing people in the right direction, people that are lost, people that don't have much, and people that are pointed in the wrong direction. So, yeah.
Amen, bro. This won't be the last time we link up. That's a for sure.
Yeah,
that's a for sure. And it's crazy, man. We grown now with beards and stuff. We would have.
Oh, man, I know, dog.
We out here now, bro. Hard work pays off. So again, thank you all so much for joining us here on the Royalty Connection podcast with two young kings in the place to be. And share this with somebody who you know needs some encouragement, needs some love, needs some support, and let us know what you think. So it's your boy Donald Schuler Jr., favorite young king, and my boy Jerome June Jr., aka Rome from the Charter to the Game podcast. We out here. God bless y'all.